Hey guys! Whoa, look at this.
I know, is this fancy?
Get on these long benches.
Well, basically what happened was the party happened and no one cleaned it up, so we just kept the stage.
I see.
Yes, that's why there's some red carpet robes and plants over there.
Oh,
yes.
Fancy.
It's Conageddon, we just went with it.
Hey guys, how are we all? I hope you got enough rest last night. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm here. I slept through my alarm this morning. Had a fantastic panic attack with my meet and greet group. And but thank you for being so kind to me. But now I feel like I'm finding a rhythm. I ate a muffin, feel better.
Oh, good. I mean, wouldn't everyone feel better after eating a muffin? Yeah. Well, welcome to your panel. And we're going to open it up mostly for fan
It's all about me!
We're going to save all talk about your short film status active until your panel with Eliza.
Yeah, sounds good.
But can you tell us about any other upcoming projects you have or that you have either finished or you're in development?
So yeah, I finished shooting a show last year called Family Next Door, which is based on a novel. It's very much a drama, kind of. Some people have read it. And so hopefully that'll come out. I mean, it will come out this year, and I think it will make it to the States and internationally. It's a show done by Emma Freeman, who's an incredible Australian director. Bella Heathcote's in it, and also Teresa Palmer, who people might know from Warm Bodies and a million other things. So yeah, so it was cool working with those guys. So that should be out this year. Directed and wrote a short film called Status Active, which we hopefully doing the festival circuit this year. So they've got their own Instagram thing, so if you want to follow along there and see, hopefully we'll be at a city near you guys. And then yeah, developing another short film for Eliza to direct, and then also working on development of Status Active, the feature. And then doing some more directing later this year.
Yeah, I was going to ask about directing. Are you doing any stateside or mostly in Australia?
In Australia, yeah, like it's been after the 100, I was like, all right, cool, I want to go and direct a bit more in the States. Then this thing called COVID happened. And so there's a shadowing program, and so like you would go and you'd shadow on a show and learn from another director, and then you'd fold into their kind of directing repertoire of people who are doing things. That was one program that got cut when COVID hit, and so the pathway through to directing in the States like stopped there. You know, I was taking meetings with Project Blue Book and How to Get Away with Murder, and was kind of like lining up to do other things. And then I became a dad, and so that kind of took up a lot of my bandwidth, and then only this year I was like, okay, I'm ready to get back into it, so yeah.
Excellent. Well, I know you all have a lot of questions for Bob, so there's a microphone in the middle. Line up and ask away.
Hey mate.
Of course, Tim, let's
Hello.
go.
Good morning.
Good morning. I got two questions. What was your favorite scene to act?
My favourite scene to act in was probably when Bellamy and Clark were going over to Luna's oil rig, and it was Bellamy and Clark talking about forgiveness and how it's hard for the Blakes. There was just something special about that scene for me. I think because it's pretty rare for Bellamy to be so open and vulnerable and talk about things that really matter to him and not just about the world ending. It was a really nice two-hander, so just two people in the scene, mostly until the frogmen turn up. And I don't know, it was just such a quiet night, and yeah, there was like a synergy to that scene, and there was just like the lake was lapping and all that stuff. So that was one scene that I really enjoyed. There are some scenes that I love watching, like fight sequences and stuff like that, but they take about 12 hours, so it's not like, oh, I'm loving this. I love it for the first hour. Yeah.
Hey man, one more question. Can you say, maybe in that Bellamy voice? I just want to hear it.
I knew you were going to ask me that, and I was going to answer as Bellamy. May we meet again. Yeah, we're still in there.
Okay, Bob.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I feel like I've never asked this. How did the name Conageddon come about? Like, who came up with it?
It wasn't, we were like, it was just like a mash of like Armageddon and all that stuff, and we're like, we wanted to sound like a convention, you know, like I think other names were being floated around, but I was like, we were looking at other conventions and how they presented, and everything was like, boom, like, all right, Conageddon, that works. So it wasn't like, it was more of like sampling of other conventions and being like, you know, we want to be seen as like have a convention name that people will go, okay, that's it. But yeah, that's not like the name of like one of our children or anything like that. But yeah, it was more of a marketing thing, decision.
Okay, if I can ask one more quick question. I don't know, I got inspired just by watching that video there. I promised I would not ask questions about the show, but here I am.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I know, but like, okay, so I just kind of feel like Bellamy, I don't know, he takes a lot of crap sometimes,
Sure.
and like there's a lot of talk about like the bad things he did, the mistakes he made, sure, fair enough, but Bellamy, in my opinion, and I know I'm biased because he played my favorite character, he played him to perfection and deserve a lot of credit for that.
Thank you.
I just feel like he did a lot of really good things too, and he was very brave and very selfless a lot. So with that in mind, what are some of his best moments?
Some of his best moments. You know, like I think the first thing that jumps to my mind, and one that I really enjoyed, was when he blew up the veil at Mount Weather. You know, when he goes in there and Raven's like, do this thing and override it. He was just like, I'm just gonna blow it up. You know, and then like, those scenes where like I get to be, where Bellamy, like, you know, he's crawling through that tunnel and then the fire comes through and he kind of laughs to himself. I think there's only maybe like 2 of those, like when there was the car chase and he shoots the driver and the car stops, you know, like, and he gets to kind of laugh at like that was close, like that was very exciting. Like those things like that are really cool. Even, you know, like he's had big hero moments, like when Octavia has been taken and he has the helmet on and he shoots those 2 guys, or like when he goes in and saves, I've forgotten her name, but like in Mount Weather where he's dressed up as a guard. Yeah, Fox, yeah, and so those moments where I'm like, I know these are like real hero moments for Bellamy are quite fun, like you just got to embrace them. But yeah, I think most of those were very early on, and I think like, you know, like he was, the moments where he's happy or relieved or whatnot, you know, like it was always great to do that. And I think also just keeping, especially in the first season, like keeping people alive, you know. He definitely took on that mantle after he realised how badly he had messed up with throwing away the radio. But I don't think he ever really forgave himself for that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning.
Good morning.
I'm gonna paint a little bit of a picture for you before I get to the question. So it's a year from now. Status Active has come out. It's huge. You're sitting at home, Eliza, little Henry. You look down on your phone and you see the caller ID. It says Tim Netflix.
Oh, yep.
CEO of Netflix, Tim Netflix.
Yeah,
You pick up the phone. Hey, Bob. Status Active. Huge movie. We want to write you a blank check. We want to have you come in and direct a film. Any genre of your choice, but we have one recommendation. We want you to cast an American actor, a British actor, and an Australian actor. We're trying to hit all the English-speaking markets.
Yeah.
So,
I like Tim Netflix. I like this guy.
so with that in mind, what genre of film would you make, and what of those 3 actors would you then cast in the film?
All right, from a purely pragmatic point, I'd make a low-budget horror, because like the thing about longevity is about profitability. So horrors sell everywhere, and I also think that like horror thrillers have the most skillful filmography about them, the way they can jump scare and everything like that. Aussie is Eliza, obviously. American.
Nepotism.
yeah, nepotism. Yeah. She's my nepo baby. American, it'd be Mike Beach, you know. I know that there's amazing American actors, but Mike Beach is nepotism as well. Yeah. I'm British. Look, it's about, and this is horrible, nepotism as well, but Ben Barnes is a real sweetheart. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tim Netflix.
Hi Bob, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
I was just curious because of your Filipino heritage, like what your favorite Filipino dish was.
My favorite dish is adobo. Yeah. So yeah, and I know it's like one of the most plain ones, but it's my favorite one, and I need to learn how to make it, and then make Henry eat it. But yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So hi Bob. So my question is, for someone who wants to start acting, do you have any advice? Because I love how you act in your movies. I think you portray it really well.
Yeah, cool. Like I think a few people have asked me this question as well, and every person you see here that is an actor, we all have our own different journeys, and like mine's totally different from Richard's or Eliza's or Zach even, you know. But the one underlying thing is that we're all like, you're trying to. There's a lot of hustle that comes with it, you know, and there's a lot of people that doubt and whatnot, but. Definitely go and learn as much as you can and develop your style of acting. Like everyone has their own approach to how they perform. You know, I started off in theatre and I did a whole different kind of bunch of theatre like Suzuki Theatre and Brecht and Meyerhold and Meisner and kind of learn all these different things. But I think the biggest thing is to just get involved like with like local theatre or whatever it is. Like when I started, there wasn't like Facebook and all that kind of stuff, so I was just like going on the internet being like, where is like a local theatre group? How do I do that? You know, how do I get an agent? How do I do all those things? So there's all that like agents and headshots and all that pragmatic stuff that you need to do to be part of the game, but I think it's much more accessible now to be in the picture with like, I don't know what it is, what the platform's called here, it might be like Actors Access, but you can sign up for that and put yourself out and then just start going for things. Like I was just going for anything really, and then writing my own stuff and performing in it and just doing it as much as you can. I am absolutely in love with performing and storytelling as a whole. Like for me, it's been a compass in my life. Like when other things have fallen apart, like I always know that is what I want to do, and I feel like I'm one of the lucky ones in terms of that. Like, yeah, there are times in my life where I felt lost, but the thing that I've wanted to do has always been the same, and I'm really grateful for that. So if you've got that calling in you, definitely follow it and see where it takes you. It's a tricky business to be in, and even for us as established actors, we still go, where's that next gig coming from? Like nothing is certain. But just get involved. It's a scary thing to do. Like all of us actors here and everyone else that wants to do it in the creative field are risk takers, and so you've got to embrace that and know that it's terrifying, and just keep working towards it. But it's a scary thing to do, but if you love it, just pursue it and find your way. That's all I can say. It's just,
thank you.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
My question is, if you could change one thing about your character, what would you change?
If I could change one thing about my character, I don't know. Like it's funny like to have that thought for him, because I don't have autonomy over Bellamy. It's somebody else's creation. But I would, just for his own sanity, give him time and space to grieve and to move forward. I think a lot of the world that they were living in was so fast-paced that none of them had any chance to kind of stop and forgive themselves and give themselves some grace. It's not good TV, but I would like that for him, so he can move forward as a human being. Yeah. Thank you.
If you could take back one of Bellamy's decisions, what would it be? And do you think he saw himself as a hero or a villain?
I don't think he saw himself as either, really, in terms of that. I was saying in the meet and greet, my role isn't to judge Bellamy whichever way he should do things. My role is his lawyer, basically. So I've just got to defend his actions. But yeah, I think the one thing that was really the tipping point for him was throwing away the radio in season 1, and feeling that responsibility of all the 500 people that were sacrificed. I think that was the thing that really set him off on this course of being like, I am a monster, I am like, responsible for all these people. Like if you go back for Bellamy, that's kind of what has been told from day one, that he's responsible for Octavia. It's a pretty heavy thing for a mum to say. And, and for a little boy to hear, but that's kind of this inner monologue that he's had forever. And whether that makes him good or bad, I don't know if he was praised as a kid, but I doubt it, considering that, he got his mother killed because he was trying to look after his sister. Like that's a heavy thing to take for him. So I don't think he ever saw himself as like a hero or a villain. He probably just saw himself as a failure for having his mother die and then just trying to keep his sister alive. Like it's very complex, and it's a horrible thing to think about. So it's just, I think that all those kids have had it really tough, and so that's what made, I think, the 100 and all of them like such heartbreaking and heroic in that way that they still managed to persevere. The one thing that I love about the show is just the resilience of all the characters in order to keep moving forward. But yeah, thank you.
So I have a couple questions.
Go for it.
The first one is, how long did it take you to perfect an American accent, or did it come easy to you?
I don't know if I've ever perfected it, but like...
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, Bellamy... I know a lot of people have heard this story, but Bellamy kind of was born from being hungover. Yeah, like the first day, I ran into an old friend when I was shooting the pilot the day before my first day. And we had one too many drinks, and then like the first line I think I said was like, if the air is toxic, we're all dead anyway. And I was like, I guess that's what I'm doing. Like the Bellamy that was presented to them during the audition wasn't as gruff as the Bellamy that turned up on pilot day. But the thing about the Bellamy voice, it isn't the voice that I do for all my American projects. I like to create a voice or find the cadence of how someone will talk. It's like a huge part of the building a character process for me. But like, because Bellamy's voice is like way down here, it was like, it became very easy to not slip into the way I speak when I'm Bellamy. Like physically, I have to change the way I breathe, so he sits in here, like way down here. And for me, when I talk, I'm much more up here. So keeping those two things separate was quite easy. But yeah, each year that I would come back and be like, okay, I'm Bellamy. I would look in the mirror and be like, this is ridiculous. But it's cool.
I love that process. Second one was, it's actually a question I asked at the panel just before. But do you know of any like deleted storylines or scenes that didn't make it into the show, or that you would have wanted to be in the show?
I don't know about storylines, but there's definitely scenes and lines. Like I was just Richard. Like I was talking to him yesterday about it. But in the episode I directed, I had one day. It started off. I had one day with the techno crane. So the techno crane is like a crane that can move back and forth. It's like 40 foot of crane that can move back and forth, like extend and and move around with a movable head on it. So I had one day with that, and then as time went on, other directors took it. So I had half a day, and then I had one scene. And so with the one scene that I had to build this one. So I take one shot for the entire scene, and it was for Richard walking through Sanctum and kind of checking it all out and seeing it vandalized and everything like that. And so I built this shot so it would went over the lake and came up and found him, he'd walk past it, and we'd drift up, see the top of it, it'd come back around, and then we'd be behind Richard as he walked up to the stairs of Sanctum. And I was really like proud of that because my time frame was getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and I had to kind of adapt on the day and be like, all right, this is the shot, and this is what we're doing. And unfortunately, that was cut, but in my version it was there. And there was also another thing with Richard, unfortunately, that was cut in my episode, where there was a line where Richard, it was like, he's getting taken away, and Jared and Tati they're in a prison cell, and he says to them just before he leaves, he says, "Get me a cookie." And it was like, Richard's like, "What does this line mean?" And I was, "It's so silly." I was like, I know. And I was like, but what if we make that the most important line in this scene? And he fucking nailed it. And I was like, it has to stay. And it was in my cut, but it was also cut there as well. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank
No
you.
worries.
Hi, Bob.
Good morning, afternoon, whatever we are. I love your jacket.
Thank you. So my question is regarding Roman history. So Octavia is named after Augustus' sister.
Yeah.
Augustus is known for bringing peace to Rome.
Uh-huh.
How
Cool.
did Bellamy's knowledge of Roman history kind of inform your decisions on creating that character and developing his storyline as you went on?
Well, I mean, I know that it was like initially put in there, and then like the Iliad was thrown in there. But like for me, Bellamy is really like he's that tragic hero. So I pulled more from like just the what I had in front of me. His interest in Roman history, I didn't pay that much attention to. I get asked a lot about it, and I was like, look, Bellamy for the most part is based on my brother and my relationship with my brother. So yeah, it's more my own creative interpretation. And then I was like, oh yeah, and he also likes Roman history. Yeah. So I hate to disappoint people that, I take my job seriously, but I was like, that's one part that I didn't fold into the Bellamy lexicon. Yeah.
In season 3, you and the gang fight so hard against the City of Light.
Yeah.
And yet, in the final season, you have this transcendence. In hindsight, do you think maybe taking a breath, Bellamy might have thought, well, maybe City of Light wasn't so bad?
Possibly.
Because it's like you have like this fake work versus like transcendence. You don't have a body.
Yeah. I think that I think it's about choice though.
True.
Yeah.
I get that. I know there was a lot of brutality out in the real world, but
Yeah.
you could have gotten everybody in there.
I think maybe if he went to the City of Light, he'd be like, you know what, this ain't so bad. But
Nobody never goes there, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, but I think he saw what it did to his friends, and it does come down to that freedom of choice. I think between their transcendence, and not that it's like I don't know. I haven't seen season 7, but I just know that for Bellamy it was a choice to become enlightened and to choose to let go of things.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas City of Light really seemed like it was a bit of a wolf in sheep's clothing
You were
type
forced in
situation.
there
Yeah.
mostly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks.
Hello.
Hello.
I was wondering if there will be a Conageddon 6.
Oh boy. So every bloody Sunday. And it's always like, Zach will be like, ask Bob. And then like, I can't give you an answer now. It's always a wonderful thing. And whenever we are organizing, I'm like, it's got to be the last one. And then we come here and you guys are having such a great time. It is such a great feeling. And I love that we get to put this on. So, and we want to make it and so, yeah, there'll be discussions for sure. Yeah, every year. Every year it's like, but it was good, and obviously made a lot of people happy, and so yeah, it's definitely a discussion to be had. But I think for us, we need to find something for you guys that you guys will really enjoy as well. So.
And then I just wanted to say thank you for giving everybody and myself the most awesome weekend ever.
Oh yeah, no. I really think that a lot of it is you guys and the community that you bring in, and just how welcome everyone feels. So thank you for being such an amazing group of people, and we're happy to facilitate that for you guys.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Hello. So in season 6, you, Eliza, and Richard had a fight scene. Was that fun to film, or was it challenging?
I had just had knee surgery. Yeah. So I was. Hey! And I was supposed to have 3 months of rehab. I had 2 weeks. So it was very hard. I mean, I love doing fight sequences. I love getting into character, but that was the point after that day that I was like, I like from season 6 onward, like I couldn't walk. So yeah, when I was like, oh, I'm going back to work, oh, I'm doing a fight sequence, that was probably the hardest one for me. And then it kind of set the tone for the rest of season 6 for me. So yeah, I love doing them, and you know, anyone who is active or gets an injury and then you can't do those things that you love, it is really tough. Like any sort of injury, it becomes an emotional journey as well. When there's that thing that you love doing, and I love being active, and I love fight sequences, but I couldn't do my job. And it's very tough. So it's a cool fight sequence, no doubt. But yeah, that was like the beginning of the end for me. Yeah. And I think even if you watch that episode and you watch it closely, you can see, I told them, I was like, guys, I've still got my knee brace on. It says Hollywood Emergency on it. And you go back and watch it. And I was like, guys, I think it's in frame. They're like, oh, it won't be, it's out of frame. I was like, I'm pretty sure it will be. And I think if you watch back, maybe at episode 1 of season 6, you might be able to see the Hollywood Emergency knee brace that I'm wearing. Yeah. So yeah, thank you. That's just the honest truth. I love working on the show, but that was kind of, yeah.
Hi there. So I personally love Bellamy's character as far as progression goes. You see him go from kind of like a raw adolescent to a conflicted young adult to a man. And I appreciate that, especially the brotherhood, standpoint. But he has some season 3 and season 7 are kind of maybe abnormal for his character. But I'm just wondering, as far as seasons go, what's your favorite and least favorite versions of Bellamy?
I love season 1 Bellamy. I know, and it's a bummer that I needed to take time off in season 7 because I know it was going to be a return of season 1 Bellamy, of that kind of badass leader, because I'd been saying, hey, when are we going to get to do that again? And then they were like, yeah, season 7, that's the one. And then I was like, hey guys, actually, I need some time off. Season 1 Bellamy, I love being the bad guy because my character never sees himself as bad, like I was saying before, I'm the lawyer for that character. And I also really love season 3 Bellamy. I think you need to kind of look at the lens in which, and I was talking about this the other day, the audience is seeing the story from a certain point of view, whereas I just see it from Bellamy's real world. And if you look at what Pike was, and I know he was the big bad of that season, but ultimately he was the chosen person to lead Sky Crew, and Bellamy is a Sky Crew, through and through. And so, yeah, in his eyes, he was doing the right thing. One thing that I do find funny, though, is there was a scene where I think all the tribes get together at Metropolis, and it was funny to think, just in terms of that world, Kane tried to be leader of Sky Crew, and they're like, no, that's Pike. And then we get to Polis, and they're like, who's gonna lead Sky Crew? And Kane's like, I'll do it. And they're like, no, not you. Let's get Clark. It was just hilarious with him, and I was like, Kane is hilarious, consistently I can do it. And everyone's like, no, she'll do it. We just had an election, Kane, and we said, not you. And then he comes to Polis, and he's like, but me. And we're like, not you. So I just think Kane is one of the funniest characters to me. Thank you. And I wish Henry was here for me to tease.
Hi, Bob. I was wondering, what is your favorite plot twist for both Bellamy and the entire cast?
Plot twist. I think I mentioned it yesterday, but we never talk about it. Is that Bellamy was right about the Nightblood, and they could have stayed on Earth. They didn't need to spend 6 years up in the tin can. But no one ever talks about it. Plot twist. Or just plot twist, we're not going to talk about the fact that you were right about this one, we all would have stayed. But that being said, one thing that I was like, this is super weird, is there's a scene where we tap into the Allegis radio, and there's like one person alive down there, and they're like following her, and it's Clark. But Bellamy thinks that Clark is dead. And so when they're like, oh, and she's pretty, Bellamy's like, oh, we gotta get down there. But he must have been thinking that that was Octavia. And he's like, that's a little weird, Bellamy. But yeah, my sister is hot. Objectively, I know she's my sister, but she's hot, so we have to get her. Plot twist.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, we have 10 minutes. Okay, I'll try and be... Yeah?
Hello Bob, how are you?
Good, good. How are you?
So this is the first time I'm meeting actors. I'm having a great time.
Good, we're normal people.
I finished the show just 2 days back.
Oh, wow.
I'm the most freshman.
Yeah.
So my question to you is that this show is all about friendship for me.
Yeah.
Enemies are going to become friends. Haters are going to become lovers. Just be in the situation. This is the message which I take from the show.
That's fantastic.
Your acting is amazing. I love your acting. In the season 5, in the last episode, you say a line to Clark. Clark, do what you want to do. I'm not leaving my friends.
Yeah.
And then you wait for Murphy, the guy who was your biggest hater in the first show.
Yeah.
My question to you is that in 7 years, when you played the role of Bellamy, how did it impact you as a friend in real life?
Yeah, look, I think that there's, especially when we do a convention like this, and like every bloody time that me and Marie do a panel, it's like, I really care about these people, and we went through it for 7 years. Like there's been their ups and downs, but like we have shared something and we've created something that we can be proud of. But I have a genuine place in my heart and I care about them. And yeah, it's...
And we feel that care.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm very lucky to be in the position that I'm in and have gone through that stuff with all of my castmates. So.
And I have not gone to any convention in my life. This is the first one.
Oh, well, welcome. Yeah.
Thank you. I've talked to a couple of the people here, and they told me they have gone to many other conventions of TV shows and movies, but this is the one which is the most homely vibe in which you can connect really well with the crew.
Yeah, well, I think it's a lot to do with these guys here sitting in front of you as well. So thank you everyone who's here, and I'm glad that you've enjoyed your time here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey.
Hey.
Alright, it's been 5 years since you worked on The 100, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What surprised you the most about your career over those 5 years, or in the last 5 years?
COVID. The strikes. But I think there's the biggest thing, and it's not in terms of like work or whatever it is, it's my relationship to work. And I think most of you guys know about me taking time off from season 7 and putting kind of my own mental health first. That's been the most surprising thing. And I spoke about how much I love storytelling and performing and it being a compass for me. But realizing that that was kind of my identity for a good 20 odd years, and work being absolutely everything for me. I think having, getting married and having a partner like Eliza, becoming a father, and realizing that I can't give everything to work. I have to leave something in the tank for myself. I think that we're also driven to be career-based, and we forget about us and what we need, what we need to fill our own tanks. So my relationship to work has changed a lot, and knowing what I'm willing to give. It's a tough thing, I think, being an artist, is that you want to bare your soul and give everything that you can to it and give it its truth, and I do, but then finding that line between work and life and me, like what do I need to be able to be the best partner, the best dad, the best version of myself just for me. And so that's probably been the most surprising thing, is taking work that I know that I can do and also create that space for myself. Like not giving everything away because like then I've got nothing left to give the people that I care about or even back to myself. So that's probably been the most surprising thing. And I think maybe that just comes with age, but also maybe I did need to go to that extreme of being on such an intense show and going, oh, I need to take a step back because I'm losing myself completely to work. Yeah, if that makes sense.
No, it makes total sense. Thanks for the answer. And all the work you've done since has been fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Words not suffering.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Dude, what's the gym routine?
Me? I don't know, like I'm glad that I'm 40 now because I feel like I'm in good shape for 40. But basically, I do weights twice a week, I rock climb 3 times a week, I run 3 times a week. But it's part of my, I know that sounds like a lot, but it is definitely part of my mental health routine. But a lot of that was like making sure I don't fall apart so I can still play with my son. But yeah, I think, it's just part of I think I've always been wired to work out and stuff like that. And thanks, man. Yeah, yeah. Basically, I do weights so I don't fall apart. Like, I think strength training is really important, not only for your mental health, but just for your longevity. I think I forgot about that. Well, I didn't realize that until you start getting older. So yeah, it's really important. And it's not my life, but it's something that I definitely make sure is factored into all the other things that I do. Yeah. Thank you. Do I have time for one more? I don't want to just finish on being like talking about how swole I am. Yeah.
Okay. If you had to replace algae and make algae not war, what would you replace algae with?
As a saying?
As a saying, or as, a motto or action for bringing harmony in the world.
Bringing harmony in the world. Ooh.
Richard said shoot whiskey, not guns.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Geez.
Cassia, if you want to go in the other direction, just to take the pressure off, said make Nutella, not war.
Make Nutella, not war.
Like.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Make children, not war.
Yeah, Zach said make children,
make
not
children.
war.
Yeah, he said he wanted 1 million children. Yeah, I don't know. Like that's I want to say something prophetic, but. Yeah, I would be like, I don't know, make anything else but war.
That's
yeah.
a legitimate answer.
Yeah, there you go.
Anything else but war.
Make peace, not war. Make peace with yourself and everyone else. I don't know. It's too big. It's too big.
But algae was a really good thing and it was tiny. So.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys. I guess I gotta go. I've been late all day long.
Sorry guys, we gotta wrap up quickly, but thank you Bob for coming to your panel.